Mojtaba's aide mocked the United States after Trump ended the new Hormuz mission just one day after it began, turning the sudden withdrawal into a fresh point of ridicule. The aide said the U.S. Navy now appears too scared to guide ships through the Strait of Hormuz after Iran allegedly bombed the UAE, raising new questions about American resolve in the region. Trump is now being accused of using talks as an excuse after failing to protect a key Arab ally, with critics saying the move looks more like damage control than strategy. Mojtaba's aide also reminded the United States of its 1980 military failure in Iran, using that old setback to suggest Washington still has not learned from its past mistakes. Amid Trump's U-turn on Project Freedom, a senior Iranian official openly mocked U.S. leaders, using the sudden reversal to question Washington's credibility and resolve. Mohsen Razi, a former IRGC commander and a member of Iran's Expediency Council, taunted the United States in remarks that added another sharp layer to the war of words between the two sides. Razi invoked the U.S. failed hostage rescue mission in 1980, according to Al Jazeera on May 5, drawing on one of Washington's most infamous military setbacks to make his point. Razi's remarks came after an IRGC spokesperson declared Iran the victor of the war, reinforcing Tehran's public message that it had outlasted and outmaneuvered its adversaries. The former IRGC commander said, quote, "The President of the United States, the Secretary of War, and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff share one trait: they sell their delusions as achievements. Iran's powerful armed forces stand ready. What awaits U.S. forces won't be Normandy or Sicily, it will look more like Tabas. Don't indulge in illusions." Unquote. Razi's comments were reportedly a reference to Operation Eagle Claw, the April 1980 U.S. mission that remains one of the most painful failures in American military history. The mission was meant to rescue American hostages in Tehran, but it ended in complete disaster and became a symbol of poor coordination and failed planning. Mechanical failures, followed by a deadly mid-air collision in the Iranian desert, killed 8 U.S. soldiers and forced Washington to abandon the operation in humiliation. Meanwhile, the U.S. president said he was halting Project Freedom just a day after its launch, raising fresh doubts about the mission's purpose and durability. The U.S. had launched Project Freedom to guide ships through the Strait of Hormuz amid the Iranian blockade, presenting it as a rapid response to a growing maritime crisis. On the first day of the mission, Iran allegedly bombed fujairah in the UAE and multiple cargo ships, sharply escalating tensions and putting pressure on Washington to respond. Trump said, quote, "Based on the request of Pakistan and other countries, the tremendous military success that we have had during the campaign against the country of Iran, and additionally, the fact that great progress has been made toward a complete and final agreement with representatives of Iran, we have mutually agreed that, while the blockade will remain in full force and effect, Project Freedom, the movement of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, will be paused for a short period of time to see whether or not the agreement can be finalized and signed." Unquote. Brigadier General Hossein Mohabi made the remarks on May 3 during an interview with IIB, where he addressed the escalating tensions. Brigadier General Mohabi declared that Iran would emerge as the ultimate victors in war, presenting the claim in emphatic terms. He said, and I quote, "In the unequal battle we are facing, Iran's armed forces will be the final victors. They fight with the culture of Ashura and consider surrender a disgrace for themselves. Our model in today's wars is the model of Ashura, steadfastness in an unequal battle. Our enemies are specifically one country and one regime with enormous equipment. America brought its latest defensive and offensive equipment to the battlefield. Our equipment and the number of our forces are very unequal compared to theirs. But our spiritual power enabled us to stand against them. In this arena, our fighter either wins or is martyred. Martyrdom is happiness for him. In such a situation, our forces do not falter. If the enemy infiltrates the mind of our forces through cognitive warfare, it can create doubt and reduce their resilience. But Ashura training prevents this infiltration. Our fighters, possessing combat, operational and defensive capabilities as well as religious faith, give their lives so that the people can have security." Unquote. Mohabi's declaration came as US President Trump said he could restart strikes on Iran, adding a new layer of tension to an already volatile situation.
Doing very well with regard to Iran. Again, they want to make a deal. They're decimated, and they're having a hard time figuring out who their leader is. They don't know who their leader is because their leader is gone. Their former leader, Khamenei. But we'll see. Any questions real fast? Which?
The new 14-point proposal that Iran has proposed?
No, I haven't. I'm looking at it up here.
You're looking at it?
Yeah. I'll let you know about it later. But
Mr. President, last night you said we might be better off not making a deal with Iran.
well, I wouldn't have to. I didn't say that. I said that if we left right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild. But we're not leaving right now. We're going to do it so nobody has to go back in 2 years or 5 years.
Mr. President, you also said last night that...
They told me about the concept of the deal. They're going to give me the exact wording. Yeah.
Mr. President, last night you also said that only like 85% of Iran's missile-making capabilities has been eliminated.
Correct.
Is that other 15% important? Does the United States need to eliminate that?
Well, I'd like to eliminate it. Yeah, I'd like to. It'd be a start for them to build up again. And yeah, I would like to eliminate it.
Mr. President, sir, under what circumstances would you restart military strikes on targets?
Well, I don't want to say that. I mean, I can't tell that to a reporter. If they misbehave, if they do something bad, but right now, we'll see. But it's a possibility that could happen, certainly.
Mr. President, in your letter to Congress, you said the hostilities in Iran that started have been terminated. How can you say that given that the naval blockade is still being militarily enforced?
Well, it's a very friendly blockade. Nobody's even challenging it. Nobody at all is challenging it. Just so you understand, many presidents have been involved in things that are very big. They never had to go through anything with respect to Congress. They considered it to be totally unconstitutional. And the Democrats in Congress that push this, and probably a couple of Republicans, they're hurting our negotiating ability, which is infinite right now. And they shouldn't be doing it. It's never happened before. No other president's done it. And I'm not going to be the first. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, Iran
Thank you, Mr. President. Do you envision a future where American energy companies are operating inside of Iran, much like Venezuela?
It could be. I'll tell you what, we have a lot of ships coming up to Texas and Louisiana. It's a line of ships. You saw the satellite. We have a line of ships, big ones, 2 million barrels, and they're coming up. I mean, literally hundreds of ships are in line to go to Texas. I mean, they're already started, but we're selling a lot of oil.
Mr. President, why is the U.S. removing troops from Germany? Why is the U.S. removing troops from Germany?
We're going to cut way down, and we're cutting a lot further than 5,000.